Hi everybody, it's Biba Pedron for the new interview of the Let's Connect interview series that we have every week. And the purpose of it is to show you all of my network and all the people and the experts that I know and who have great services and people who are successful in business, and they can give you information, resources, and tips and strategy in order to grow your business faster. The people who work with me, they know that I like when people get results very quickly. Most of my clients have results within 90 days because they have the right strategy, but I don't know everything. So I need help with some people because some other people have other strategies that can help clients too, and people who look at my audience. So today I have the pleasure to meet Sandra Fidelis. How are you, Sandra?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, Biba.
She is a coach, client attract. But then today, it's interesting because we just ended I was a guest on your virtual summit. And I saw that it would be very interesting for people to know more about how a coach, we can use a virtual summit. I do virtual summits since 2011. I do both in French and in English. And I remember, and I know that I teach people on how to do it, but I know that when I tell them, okay, you want to grow your business fast? So let's do a summit. And then they say, oh, no, the summit. It seems so much work. So before you tell us what's the purpose and how that's helped you have a virtual summit in your business to grow your business, can you introduce yourself to let us know who you are, what you do, and how you help people?
Yeah, absolutely. So I work with coaches and I teach them how to create a profitable business without expensive advertising and complicated funnels, so they can create more financial freedom and time flexibility and really become that major voice in their industry that they'd like to become. And yes, I have just wrapped up my hosting my seventh summit. And it's one of the things I love to do most as far as marketing. Yes, it is, it does take work, but if you do it, if you have your systems in place and you have a little bit of support, you can do it in a way where you're not, working tirelessly 24/7 for months at a time. So that is one thing that I teach my clients how to do, is how to create a summit so that they can grow their audience fast and fill their practice.
Yeah. Because that's a quickest way to build a list, especially for people. I teach for people who don't have, they say, I can't promote anything, I don't have a list. I say, well, start by your summit and then you will have a list. And so, but they say, yeah, but I'm scared if I invite people, if I invite expert, people won't see me. They will just see the expert. And I just explain, no, that's not how it works, because then since you're the host, well, people see you at the same level of the expert. So I remember that I was a guest on one of your virtual summit, like years ago. I don't even remember when. What?
Back in like 2016, maybe even that far back. Yeah.
That was at the time. We never met in person, but that's why what's interesting also with internet, we can do so much in business. Even we're not in the same state. Well, if normally I'm Miami, you were in New York, if I remember well, or you moved.
I was in New York at the time. Yep. Now I'm in Florida.
Now you're Florida too, but now you're in Florida and I'm in France, but we still can do business. So what would you say would be the first step for somebody? Because we understand that doing the virtual, that gives you visibility, first of all, because you will explain, and that will help to grow your list. But what would be the step that you will give you success to people in order to start their own virtual events?
So hosting a successful summit, there are actually 3 steps, right? There's 3 phases. So the first phase happens about 6 months to 3 months before the actual launch of your summit. And that is the invitation, right? That's the invitation phase, where you're throwing all the spaghetti at the wall that you can, especially if it's your first one. You are just, inviting as many people as you can. The first summit I did back in, I think, 2013, I had 18 speakers and I had invited about 100 people.
Wow.
So it took me 100, requests to get 18 people on. And I was one of those people. So it was actually 17 people. But that summit, I grew my list. I had 0 list and I grew it to 2,000, right? Off of one summit. The summit after that, I I did 3,000 additionally, right? I grew my list by 3,000. So there's so much potential for you to grow your practice and your audience fast and to completely fill your coaching and then have, people on a waiting list even. But that's the first stage. The first stage is really to have the invitation. So you're really inviting people, you're getting lots of, no's and hopefully getting lots of yeses.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's really about the building of the technical piece of the summit, right? So you need your sales page, selling the summit. Then you need your thank you page, hopefully selling an upgrade to the summit, for people to actually own the recordings long term. And then all the background stuff, like you need to have your affiliate piece if you are going to give the speakers a cut of the upgrade package. So there's a lot of like the moving pieces in that stage, which is the technical piece, the creation of the summit.
And that part is good to delegate if you can, because especially if you start a business and you don't know anything about website, about the technical part. So I usually suggest to use like a platform, like a ClickFunnels, or we use the
Kartra,
because that way you have everything in one. Because when you do WordPress, you have the WordPress, then you have to find the plugins and all that kind. So it's much better to have the platform. But then if you don't know anything about the platform, usually that's the reason why people stop or quit on the virtual summit. It's just because they say that's too much stuff. Well, but if you find somebody who can do it for you, and you can ask people around you, they can refer you like a community manager or somebody who can help you with that. You don't have to do everything on your own.
Yeah. And there are virtual assistants who, are well-versed in summit creation and do all the background stuff. I used to use a WordPress plugin, and I had a woman who was very familiar with that WordPress plugin, but it was just kind of like so many pieces it was like Band-Aids, you were like tying things together. Now I use one platform. I use Kartra. ClickFunnels is also a good one, but yes, having somebody do the background for you, like the actual creation of the landing page and all of that, is a great idea, especially if it's your first summit, and it doesn't have to break the bank. You can find people that are doing it for a reasonable rate. So that's the second piece. So that's the creation of the actual summit physically. The third piece is the actual launch of the summit, right? So one thing that's the most important piece of this is to make sure that your speakers promote you like they have agreed to, right? So if it's one solo promotion or two solo promotions, however it is that you guys have decided that the promotion is going to happen, definitely follow up and make sure that everyone's mailing, because that is going to make or break your summit. Yeah. And so, if you are, for example, doing a daily summit where you are releasing an interview daily, or if you're doing, 2 interviews per day, it really doesn't matter. You have to figure out what works for you in terms of, how you want to run this summit. But it's really important that people mail for you that said, or promote for you that said they were going to promote for you.
And it's very important that you write also, because you spend a lot of time is to write the emails for yourself, but then you write the email for the expert and for the affiliate, because we know that as an expert, we have so many things to do. So in order to promote quickly, it's good. At least we have like a template. We can change things if we want to change to adapt to our audience. But that's take a lot of work also to write all these emails, because you write like a set for you and then you have a set for the people.
Exactly. Yeah. And I do have a program that I created that it teaches you how to create a summit really easily. And it has all of the templates, email templates and sales page templates and all of that as well. So it simplifies the process. But yes, it's, those things are the things that take the most time, for you to create.
Do you recommend, because I remember the first 3 ones I did it live. And then it was so much work. I have like 2 guests a day. It was so much work.
Oh
but now I pre-record, and I noticed that most of the people pre-recorded. But did you do it live at some point, or do you suggest people to do it live?
Not anymore. I did my first 2 summits live, and that was like, It was 3 weeks, the first one, and I was exhausted. No, I don't think it really makes that big of a difference. I mean, it's great because you can have Q&A, you can be more interactive with it, but to be honest, I don't think it makes that much of a difference with the amount of work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the automation piece is important at this point.
So some people wonder if you, like I had somebody who asked me the question recently, say, what do we sell at the end of a summit? So of course we sell the recording of all, if people can't listen, especially yours was like 2 or 3 weeks. The last one, that was 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. So I usually do mine for 5 days, and I already find it's long, so 2 weeks. And then, of course, we understand that people can't just be there for 2 weeks or 1 week and just to listen to experts. So that's very important. If you can't be there, you can buy the pack, the recording. But then what would you, because that's the upsell, but then what would you recommend to sell after that? Because most of us, we offer like either an ebook or a strategy session. But then what do you sell? What's the behind the scene? That's what.
So are you asking what, like when you speak on a summit or when you actually host your own summit?
Well, you can say both because I think people need to hear both.
Sure.
As an expert in the summit and as the organizer.
As the organizer or host, you should be one of the first speakers in your own summit, right? So you should be actually having somebody interview you or do some sort of a talk yourself, and you should be one of the first ones. And then if you're doing the summit for clients, you should offer some sort of a breakthrough session or a consultation, or getting people on a call with you to talk about whether it's a good fit to work together. So that's one way for you to really sell out your coaching. And then if you are participating on a summit as someone who
an expert,
is an expert, then if you want to sell a digital product, great. However, I would recommend doing something more like a free gift, and then maybe giving them an opportunity to come have a chat with you, like a consultation.
Yeah, that's what's worked the best, because usually when if as an expert we speak like for 30 minutes or an hour as a virtual events, if we try to sell something, people don't know us yet, so it's very difficult to say, okay, I'm going to buy. And I noticed that it's not the same thing it's still not exactly the same when it's virtual or when you're on stage. Because I know on stage, I can speak for 15 minutes and live with people who buy the coaching, the highest coaching that I have. But on the internet, it's different, because during the summit, they will see like 5, 10, 15 people. So I have to make this decision. Do I buy to this person? So the free ebook, that's what I gave you to the one that we just did. With a free ebook, they can learn about you, and then you ask for the strategy session, and then you send, and then you have them on your list. So the virtual events works both for you as an organizer, but for us also, because all the women that you had this time, I didn't even know them. So which means the people who know them, they don't know me, and vice versa. And that's a great way for people who, if you want to be an expert on a summit, it's very important because it gives you a lot of visibility. And for you as an expert, you get a lot of visibility also, because then the experts send you to the audience.
Absolutely.
So do you usually do it like what, once a year?
I was doing it once a year. I would say probably on average, I've done it once a year. I took a little bit of a break. The last one I did was it the last one? No, the last one I did, I think you were in there. And then I just did this one this year. So I took a few years off, but I'm getting back into it because I love it so much. I love interviewing, and it's just, I've kind of learned how to do it. And so I'm going to continue doing it. I think I'm going to do this one probably once a year from here on out.
Do you usually take the opportunity to launch like a new product or a new service, a new offer, or you just do it just to have like one-on-one coaching client?
This year I had a program that I had been doing for about a year that I had tested and tweaked and improved. And it was really for people to go in that program. But yeah, I definitely would. I think that it's good when you already have something already tested out, because then you're more confident when you show up to your sales, your enrollment conversation. But this can definitely be done for a launch too.
Yeah. So, and to go back to the first step, I mean, one of the questions that I get the most is, in order to ask to the expert, people are scared because they say, oh, this person is either she's well known, or I don't know her, I don't know what to say. So people have a problem with the approach to know what to say in the email in order to invite the expert. So what do you think for that?
Yeah, so I have a template of exactly what to say, but I would say that you have to detail all of the requirements, right? You have to let them know that you are excited to invite them, and I would start with something personal, right? Don't just send out an email that just has facts about your program or your telesummit. Personalize it. Look into what they're about, their messaging, and kind of speak to that. Or if you have been watching them for a while, or if you're a part of their community, let them know, right? If you've participated in one of their programs, that's also a really great way to approach them. It's like, I'm your client, right? And I'd love to have you participate in my summit.
And one thing that I say a lot to the clients when they say that they're scared to ask, and I always mention this story. A few years ago, like was 4 or 5 years ago, I contacted Sharon Lecter, who wrote Think and Grow Rich for Women, and who helped Kiyosaki to write all the Think and Grow Rich books, the series. And I contacted her, and actually, because I was doing a summit, like special for women, and I wanted to have like women in the US, women leaders, to show to the French women, how they started the business. And I contacted her. I didn't know her. I contacted her, and within 30 minutes, I had an answer from her, directly from her. And then she said, yes, I would agree. And I knew that she was coming to Orlando. So I said, I'm in Miami. I could go to Orlando to see you and everything. So she said yes, and said, okay, now see that with my assistant and everything. And when I did the interview, after the interview, I said, why did you say yes? Because you don't even know me. So what did you say yes? And I like what she said. She said, just because you ask. So it's just simple. It seems very simple. And that's what I say to people. If you're afraid to ask, if you ask, you either 50% that they say yes or no. And if they say no, it's not because it's personal, because sometimes it's not the right time. And if they don't want to do it, well, they don't want to do it, and that's okay. But I like to tell the story all the time. I say, she didn't know who I was, and she just said, because you ask. That's simple, but that's how it works.
Absolutely.
So I definitely, the same as you, I encourage a woman to do virtual summit, because especially right now, we can't really do live events. So it works even better right now. So if people wanted to hear more about you and learn more on how to do the virtual summit, maybe you still, I don't know if your virtual summit is still live or for a few days or not. And where can they find you? Where can they find more information if they want to launch the first summit online?
Sure. So I am on Instagram at I am Sandra Fidelis. You can also go to sandrafidelis.com and fill out a little questionnaire and have a little chat with me. I can tell you about my telesummit program. The telesummit just wrapped up actually this weekend, so it's not up yet or up anymore. But if you go to my first paid coaching client, you can go look at the summit, and if you want to purchase the summit, the recordings, it's available. So yeah,
maybe, who knows, maybe you will be one of the next expert at Sandra's events for next time. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows? I mean, I have so many people say, I don't know who to ask. I want to go to be invited. I say, well, just ask people who do the events, and that's it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's the same. You have to ask to be part of the summit, and you have to ask to get experts. So you have to ask on both sides. Don't be shy. And if people say no, just know that's okay. Go to them.
Exactly.
I've always 100 for the first time.
Yeah, 100. Yeah. So that book, Go for the No. Definitely go for the no. The more no's you get, the more yeses you get. And I always would go for like the big people. And even though they would come back with a no. I mean, I got Katie Hendricks. I got to interview Katie Hendricks, which was awesome. So yeah, I would go for, reach out to Tony Robbins and see if he wants to do a summit. You
Or
never
like
know.
everybody wants to have Oprah on the show.
Oprah. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I remember years ago, the same year that I interviewed Sharon Lichter, I had another woman that I wanted to invite. And the first time she said no. And she was the only one who knew me. And I said, well, really? And she said, no, I don't have the time. And then I came back. I said, okay, well, and because they were working in an organization, the three of them, and I wanted the three of them. So the two others say yes, and she said no. And I said, really? You the only one who know me? The other one, they say yes, and you say no. I say, come on, you girls, they coming to the interview, so come to the interviews. And I asked her like 3 times, and she said, okay, let's do it. So I went to see her, and we did the interview. And that was not, I did it live for them, but the 3 interview were as part of the summit that I did after that. So if they say no, okay, it's no, but doesn't mean you can ask again.
Absolutely.
Bring them something. It's not like come because I'm doing the events. Come, what do they get out of it?
Exactly. And I have an example of one woman on this summit that I had asked a few times. In fact, she's the one who inspired me to become a coach almost like, oh gosh, it was like 10 years ago. And I had asked her several times, and she always was not, didn't have room on her calendar. And this year she said yes. So I got to interview her.
We never know. Never stop. Never give up.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much, Sandra. And for everybody, if you want to learn more about Sandra, or if you want to learn more on how to do a virtual summit, it works very well. It's great to get new clients. It's great to grow your business fast. It's great to build your list if you don't have a list, or if you have a list. I mean, I remember one of my clients, she had a list, but not of the ideal client that she was expecting. So I said, do a virtual events with the expert that you want, expert who already sell at the level that you want to sell. And then, well, the same as you, she got like 3,000 people the first time, and then we doubled her price, and she got clients at the new price. So that's how you can grow your business faster. And I definitely encourage you to do that too. So if you like this interview, please share it with you on your page, on your audience. And if you look for any information, you can go to my website at bibapedron.com/US for the US version. And I encourage you also to sign up to the link with just under the video, so that way you will be informed every week, each time I have a new expert that will give you new strategies and new tips and new resources to help you to grow your business. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Sandra. And I see you everybody else for next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.